all be represented under one nation.
What is happening now is they want to increase the allocation.
Here comes the Delimitation Bill.
Yeah. And as a trend, it will always lean more to the north than the south.
நாம் இருவர் நமக்கு இருவர். நாம் இருவர் நமக்கு ஒருவர். நாமே இருவர் நமக்கு எதுக்கு இன்னொருவர். Welcome to the state of Madras, and today we're talking about the bill that's setting the south states on fire. Dhruva, are you ready to get into this today?
Yes, but before we start, I know you opened out with a killer Tamil monologue.
Yes.
So can you explain it to some of us?
So basically, what that meant was, Nam Iruvar is two people. We're talking about the husband and wife.
Yeah.
So we say Nam Iruvar, Namak Iruvar, which means we are two, let's have two kids and stop with that.
Yeah.
So this kind of, propaganda was done by the government to control population.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this was for a certain point.
Right.
After that, it became Nam Iruvar, we are two, let's have one.
Yeah,
right.
And this is what we see everywhere on all the backs of the buses and
exactly.
lorries. And
autos, buses, all of that. Yeah. Yes, this is what happened. And then later, we are in a current state where it's Nam Iruvar, why do we need more?
Yeah.
Let's stop. Yeah. Let's not have kids. That's the mentality today. And I'll tell you why the significance of that you learn more about it as we talk about the limitation.
Yeah. So before we get to the population bit, can you tell me what are we limiting here? Like what is the bill about?
Right.
And what are we limiting here, or rather delimiting here?
Right. Okay. Why the limitation bill? Before that, in 1971, there was a census that was taken for population, and to stop, right? So our MPs were directly related to the amount of people we had, right? But to stop it and not to drown out voices, it was kept right there. From frozen. 1971, frozen.
Yeah.
It was frozen right there. So we'll all be represented under one nation.
Yeah.
So none of the voices get drowned out. So we're all there. Equally recognized.
Yeah. Okay.
This was it, right?
Yeah.
So this is the start of the bill.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an example here.
Yeah.
In 1971, Tamil Nadu's population was about 42 million, right? So you go up north, you have Bihar. And in Bihar, 1971, when you take that stats, they were also close to 42 million.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the same, right? After that, what I just told you about, a lot of propaganda, trying to control population, all that worked till now. So you come to current day, in 2026, we have a population close to 86 million of us.
Almost double. Okay.
Almost double, right?
Yeah.
But you go to Bihar,
right.
They have 133 million.
So triple
the population, right?
Seems like they won the race. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So now what they're trying to do with the limitation bill is, the problem here is, so are you going to punish the states that followed the law?
Yeah.
Are you? It feels like a punishment, and we'll get into it saying why it feels like a punishment as well.
Actually, let's get there. So what we are talking about is the number of seats in the parliament.
Yes.
And the allocation per state.
Yes.
And currently it's at an equal allocation.
Exactly.
But what is happening now is they want to increase the allocation. Right. And is it being said that it's for the women? Is that
there you go. Yeah. There you go. That's what I wanted. Because now what's happening is, we've been hearing the 33% for women for a long time. Right? It's been happening, and we are getting there. We're getting there. But now the center has decided to, so the focus is on the 33% reservation for women.
Yeah.
But then at the tail end of that bill, for that to happen, they want again to pass the limitation bill.
Yeah.
Which increases considerably the amount of MPs we have right now to 850 members. Right?
That is also double almost?
Almost. Close to double.
Yeah. Okay.
We're getting somewhere around 300 more members.
More seats.
Yes.
Right.
300 plus more seats.
But they're not all for women.
They're not all for women. That's the catch, right?
Right?
So they're saying we're going to get there. We want to increase that. Okay, but then how are you going to go about it? Here comes the limitation bill.
Yeah.
There it arrives. So what does the limitation bill tell you? It directly correlates the number of MPs to your population
of each state.
of each state.
So that's where we get punished for having a lower population.
There
Though we actually followed the directive for the whole country, like
For the
as
whole
per the
country,
whole country.
right?
Yeah.
The whole world knows us. We are famous for our population.
Right.
They know that, right? And we've been doing as much as we can to control that.
Yeah.
And South states have clearly been the ones
winners.
that
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
winners and have restricted the growth.
Yeah.
So now we are already close to what, about 20% of the population.
Right.
The 5 South states I'm talking about, we are
Right.
20% of the population. We contribute to close to 31% of the GDP.
Staggering,
right?
yeah.
Yes,
A staggering amount, yeah.
Staggering amount. So nothing is fair when you see it in one go.
Yeah.
Because you followed the law, you've restricted the population,
And now we are being punished for
Yes,
it. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and so you want to defreeze something that's frozen for 50 years.
Yeah.
This was frozen from 1971 is
Yeah.
where it is frozen. It
Yeah.
was frozen for 25 years.
Yeah.
Again, from 2001 to 26 was frozen again.
Right.
So that's 50 years of something that was frozen.
Yeah,
You,
you
want,
want to
to
break
you want to break that up.
Yeah.
And so again,
Yeah.
the issue here is this is going, if you're going to go like this, you're going to drown out the voice that's already at the low.
Yeah.
We are already only 20% of the population.
Yeah.
So you're going to drown out the voices even further.
So that increase will not be a perfect increase. It will be a skewed increase that will favor states with much higher populations.
There you go.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
as a trend, it will always lean more to the north than the south if you're talking about average population per state. Right.
So
Okay.
it clearly, we know who the bill clearly goes to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It seems like it's more favored.
It's much more
And-
biased
and-
on the north side than the south.
Yeah, and now I get it. I get why everybody's up in arms, because we seem to be contributing quite a lot more.
There you go.
Like, even more than our population, we are contributing in a percentage sense. Seem to be contributing a lot more.
Yep.
And then it seems unfair that even the people who are contributing a lot more getting drowned out, right?
There
it
you
seems
go.
totally unfair.
So that is the issue at hand.
Yeah.
So that's why we have southern leaders, a lot of political leaders who said, why don't you, right, compare this with the GDP of each state?
Yeah.
Right? Increase
I
our
think
seats
that would
through
be-
that.
yeah.
That would be fair, right?
Because it's as per your contribution, right? That seems a little more of a straightforward approach.
There you go.
Yeah.
So again, now what the center is promising again is through their MPs. There was one particular MP, which we'll talk about as we further get into it. So the center is promising that the number of seats right now for each state will not decrease.
Right.
For example, Tamil Nadu has 39 MPs, right?
Right.
That's never going to decrease. We'll only increase your number.
Right.
But then again,
Right.
increasing numbers for your MPs
Yeah.
does not mean your percentage, your voice
Yeah.
increases there.
Yeah.
You can give 20 here, but 80 there.
Yeah.
And when in comparison, that's much more.
A much bigger percentage increase, right?
So you're reducing our percentage.
Yeah,
We are
effectively.
already-
Yeah.
Effectively.
Effectively, it might seem on paper that we are getting more seats, but if you compare it to a perfect example where we took Bihar up, the fact that they have gone almost triple our population now, if you do that exactly, like if you scale it up exactly as per the population, it seems like they'll get a lot more. For example, if we get 20,
Yes.
they surely will get at least 30. So in
100%.
that sense, if you keep going in, if you extrapolate, it seems like the South will again get drowned out, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now we are only talking stats.
Right.
We've only spoken numbers till now.
Yeah.
But then when you politically look at it,
Yeah.
North, a lot of states is controlled by a certain party.
Right.
Right? Compared to the South.
Yeah.
So you're not just drowning out voices from the South.
Right.
Yeah. So the control changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
decision making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a bill is being passed. 2/3 majority will easily fly through.
Yeah.
Right? Without any input inside that particular
we
matter.
won't have any impact on it.
So what are we doing here, right?
Yeah.
It's still a country, right?
Yeah.
And I want to answer this as well.
Yeah.
So suddenly now, right? They'll twist it and say, so are you not for women empowerment?
Yeah.
Are you not?
I
Do
know.
you guys
that-
not
that-
agree?
It seems like if you the way that's my problem with how they've colluded these two factors together.
Yes.
That it seems like if you oppose this bill on paper, it's very easy to say, oh, so they're against women empowerment or women representation in the parliament or how they want to spin it. But it seems a little more insidious when you do it that way, because that is not what we're doing. Yeah.
So this is a very well made plan by the center.
Yeah,
it's beautiful because, again, like you said, the focus is on the women representation, right?
Yeah.
But then tail end of it changes the entire story.
Yeah.
But my humble message up to the north is, here in Tamil Nadu, we have a party called NTK, Nam Tamilar. They haven't won in any of the elections that they've stand. For MLA elections, they haven't won. But I'll tell you one thing they've done. You are still striving for the 33% of women.
Yeah.
But in NTK, the candidates are split right down the center. It's 50% women, 50% men. Please point out a single party in the country that has done that so far.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think anyone is even close.
There's absolutely not. I would even go outside of a country, but then that's a different battle. We'll fight that. United Front, that a little later.
Yeah.
But this is a civil issue, meaning it's happening within our country.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So the North doesn't need to teach us about women empowerment, because some of the powerful women have run our state.
Yeah.
We've had
examples.
Absolutely. So from councilwomen to the top
Chief
of the top, to
ministers,
governors, to chief ministers, we've had women, right? And we have parties who haven't tasted victory, still giving down 50. We're still trying for 33 as a nation, but as a state, 50%.
Yeah. So it
of
seems
the
like
candidates.
our goals are a lot higher.
Exactly.
We've kept
Absolutely.
Up, right. Yeah.
This is what the fire. This is what is causing the fire, the fueling the fire, right?
And I think now when you explain it, it seems like the big picture or the complete picture is actually what, it explains why we are so vocal about it.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Just the fact that they want to drown out the South again, I think we had an issue with this earlier in the past. I think we did.
Let's get there. Let's get there.
Yeah.
This, our chief minister, not a disguised threat, or not a veiled threat. Straight.
It was straight.
It was straight.
Yeah.
He said, his words were, "Do you want India to be reminded of Tamil Nadu of the 60s?"
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean?
Yeah.
We weren't there.
Yeah.
We don't know what that means,
Yeah.
right? But 60s, then we come into another issue that we faced,
Yeah.
right? So this was the 3-language system
Right.
that was given to us, where it pushed the mother tongue towards the end.
Yeah.
Right? So it had Hindi, it had English, and it had your mother
regional
tongue.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was completely opposed by the then DMK party in the south, where we had, we called it Moliportia. Right? People who've lost their lives for the language that they fought.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is when he meant, because this is when the entire political,
The South, I think.
Yeah.
We all united and we said, no, we don't want to lose our identity. Because I think that's something that's amazing about India is that every state seems to have its own dialect, its own identity, its own, they have their own cultures, their own rituals, and they have their own languages as well. And I find that, we should, rather than sideline it or make it third or push it down the line, I think we should embrace that a lot harder. So I think I stand with those people who would have said,
there you go.
From the 60s.
It's a no-brainer. But I want to ask, how is that? Outside of India, right? We're all so proud of, how many cultures, how many languages. Yeah. Why isn't that same pride within the country?
Yes.
Right? You got to respect every single state there is, right? Yeah. And
so in the 60s, how did we fight?
So 60s, it was protests everywhere. We were in the streets trying to save the language. That's when, under Mr. Annadurai as CM then, we took the 2-language system.
Right.
We'll do our mother tongue, we'll do English.
Right.
This is what happened there.
Right.
And this completely changed the political game of Tamil Nadu. Okay?
Yeah.
Dravidian parties were known.
Yeah.
When they made sacrifices here.
Yeah.
All of that happened here, right?
Yeah.
So 60s, it's been like 60 years now?
Yeah.
60 years from now. So 60 years ago, we fought for our language.
Yeah.
Now,
and we fought hard, it seems
we
like.
fought hard for that language.
Yeah.
And we made sure. So there's a stark difference.
Yeah.
English in the South
Yeah.
is 100% better compared, because we took that particular thing.
Yeah.
We did the two-language
Yeah.
system, and we got it here. So 60 years ago, we were in the streets. We fought for the language that we use today. 60 years later, we will not hesitate to go back into the streets to make sure our voices aren't drowned out.
Again, yeah.
There
It
you
seems
go.
like, the last time last time anybody tried to drown out the South, we fought back. And I think the Chief Minister's message at that point was, don't do it again, because you'll see that loud South,
Absolutely.
you'll get to hear us
Absolutely.
again. Yeah, I think that's a great
And
point.
yes, I know that not. Let me lend a ear to our north side and say, a lot of them look at the south side and say, no, you guys are very language oriented.
Yeah.
You're extreme towards that. It's not that. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about protecting
Yeah.
what is ours, right?
Yeah.
So all we are saying is we will we are not against another new language.
Yeah.
We are definitely not against. If we want it, give us the opportunity to go learn it.
Yes.
Don't tell
Be
us
democratic.
Exactly.
Don't enforce it. Yeah.
Isn't this the biggest democracy in the world?
Yeah. So we should be democratic about how we go about things. Yeah, I think I totally agree with that. Now,
There you go.
I hope as a viewer and as someone who's a little outside the political spectrum of things, I think it's a lot clearer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of English speaking, a lot of people like that here in our state who think that politics is not for you. It's not it. You guys are living in it.
Yes.
You're surrounded by politics, right? Name me one profession where there's no politics inside that profession.
Yeah.
Every
It
office
starts
has
from
got,
the office?
yeah,
Yeah.
it starts from the office. Every office. So politics is something that you cannot bypass,
Yeah.
right? So embrace it. That's why we started off this journey during the elections saying go vote.
Yeah.
Right? You have to. All of this is saying make sure you're represented, go vote. Do not let anything drown out your voices, is all that we're saying. And now, coming back to the limitation bill, right? So it's how they handled it through.
Yeah.
That's the issue. You can label us all saying, you guys are language oriented, you guys are barbaric, and all the things they call us. That's your opinion. I let you have all that. But then don't focus on something and then tail end it with something that is devastating.
Yeah.
And then be like, guys, come on, guys, be cool with it.
Yeah.
We're never going to be cool with it.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen.
And I think the other thing where I find it a little sad, rather,
Right.
that when you oppose something that seems to have a national impact, it seems like people would then just like how we said, if you're opposing this bill, the people can then say, oh yeah, so you're against women representation and stuff like that. The thing is, if you tend to then extrapolate again and say, oh, so are you anti-national now? And then again, we brought that example where there were times in the past when the country had to pull together and fight with Pakistan and whatever, our neighbors and stuff.
Right.
And in that, I think there was someone who mentioned that we definitely paid our fair share. I think we did even more than our neighboring states and things like that. So I feel like, saying this is anti-women, this is anti-national, I don't think we should go about it with negative labels. Or at least if you're going to do that, then at least know exactly what you're talking about. And the other thing is be straight and clear. Like, don't obfuscate two matters, women empowerment and then delimitation into two things.
Absolutely.
And club it into one. They're two separate things. And you have to tackle them separately.
You are 100% right, because I'll give you the years as well. Same in the 70s, right? The government here, Tamil Nadu, we sent up almost 6 crores up there to fight. And we beat every state in the war. We beat we more than any of the states that were given, we did. So don't call us we're not patriotic. And then in 99, when Kargil happened, when Mr. Vajpayee was there, right? When he was there, 100 crores went from this state. So we are for the nation. We are Indians first. Right? We are all Indians first. But then, who are we as individuals, right? Where did we come from? We need that to come with us all through our life. Nobody's going to erase that. Nobody's going to forget that. We will continue to be who we are.
And I think, like, if you're going to end this, we should end it on a nice positive note by saying, guys, don't let us fight alone. Like, even our friends up north and wherever you are in the country, like, if you guys are going to get drowned out, you can be sure that from the south, we will shout for you. We don't want anyone to be drowned out. So now when this is happening to us, we hope that you guys will stand along with us and we can unite,
That's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
Dhruv, that was absolutely beautiful because we're still people, right?
Yeah.
Forget the political outfits. Forget the people in politics who want to voice out their concern. It's their duty. Let them do it.
Yeah.
But then we are all people, right?
Yeah.
We're all people from both sides. We're all one nation's people,
Yeah.
right? So when we have a situation where your brothers are getting drowned out, we
Yeah.
won't be heard.
Yeah.
It's you guys should come stand with us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As one nation is all that we're saying.
Yeah.
So that was our issue with the limitation bill. And there's a famous thing in Tamil, okay?
Right.
They'll say, ஆறில் வளையாதது அறுபதில் வளையாது.
Right.
If you're not flexible when you're 6, you're not going to be when you're 60, right? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So after 60 years, if you want us to show you who we are,
Yeah.
we are ready for that as well.
Yeah.
So this has been a fiery talk on the limitation bill right here on State of Madras.